What's up everybody, and welcome back to another show and tell video. And today we've got something that's actually not released yet, and this is the Solomon V2 RTA. I don't know if you're familiar with the original Solomon. Didn't really get a lot of hype, but it was a solid RTA. Looks like they're jumping on board here with the top airflow system. People like leak proof. Like the Zeus and the Themis and some other RTAs, they've done pretty well with maintaining good flavor. So definitely interested in seeing what this is all about. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. We'll just do a little quick tour of the box here. Not too much to look at. We'll jump right to the back here. So top airflow system, no leaking. 3.5 mLs to 5 mLs with different glass tubes. The 24 millimeter RTA, 46 millimeters in height, made with 304 stainless steel. And looks like it comes with a 510 and an 810 drip tip adapter. Oh look, even comes with a coil in there. I was about to build my own coil, but why don't we just go with what's in the box. So this is the Solomon 2 RTA. Not totally sure how I feel about the looks of it so far. The gold accent, not my favorite. Before we totally dive into that, let's take a look here. So yeah, so here's the straight glass tube that it comes with. So this is a 3.5 mil tube, and it's got the bubble glass on this one. So that's the 5 mil tube. So we're gonna go ahead and stick with that. Looks like it has 3 drip tips. And look at the bore on that thing, dude. It is huge. Looks like they have the same size opening, but this drip tip here is very similar to the rip tip on the Pharaoh Mini, and I believe the Zeus also has a drip tip like this to where it's gonna sit and cover this little bevel. So you'll see that the drip tip looks like it's actually flush with the top of that cap, whereas if you're using this tip, you pop it in, it'll sit a little bit taller and you'll get a little bit of that stainless steel accent at the bottom. So not sure which one I like. Let me get through the rest of this box here real quick, and here are our accessories. Let's see here, looks like it comes with a pretty fat fused Clapton coil there. There's your 510 adapter, a little screw and some O-rings. Let's go ahead and take it apart and see what we got going on inside this thing. Alright, so there's a top fill cap. Big enough, it'll get it filled up without any problems. And let's take a look at this airflow control ring. I do see a little notch there. You'll see that notch there as well. So that'll actually make it stop when you're adjusting the airflow going each way, so that's nice. Tolerance on it, it's actually okay. I don't think it's really meant to be removed all the time, but it's got a nice tolerance to it once you got it on. And you see there, it's pretty easy to start stripping those O-rings. So good thing it comes with a couple extra, but that's one thing you may want to note. Bound to happen the way this is set up. So let's go ahead and boom. What is this? All right, well, there's your deck. And it is pretty interesting looking. Clearly it is set up for a single coil, and looks like the airflow is gonna shoot right through this wall here. And if you look inside of the cap, you'll see that that wall is gonna line up right in there. But yeah, there's the inside of that. I don't know how I feel about this deck. It doesn't look like we can really put a big build in there, but then you see those Wiccan ports here on the side, and they're absolutely massive. So we're gonna have to see. I was planning to build my own coil with some of this Geek Vape wire, but they've included this big massive coil in here. So we'll try it out, see if it fits. At first glance, this deck doesn't look like it can hold much. I'm questioning whether this is actually gonna fit, but we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. So I got my HPRIV 2 here handy. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it on there. But this is gonna be my little ohm tester mod here, and we'll get the little tool because these are little hex screws. Not my favorite, but we shall see. Hopefully they don't strip out on us. So I'm going to get that right there on my screwdriver, and the inner diameter of this coil is 3 millimeter, just FYI. As I'm installing it, just taking a quick look at this, it's clearly set up for your coil to be wrapped exactly in this direction, to where this lead is on top and this lead is on the bottom. If you have it wrapped the other direction, it's not going to fit on here very well, because as you see, this post is raised a little bit higher than this post for this exact reason. Let's go ahead and slide her in. Wow, okay, well, I was wrong. You can fit a 5-wrap fused Clapton in here. I'm gonna go ahead and hold this in place here, so where it's lined up center, and we'll take our little screwdriver and tighten it down. And I feel like I should be lifting this coil up just slightly. So when you're looking through, even at that airflow, I usually like it to where my airflow is hitting the bottom half of the coil. And based on what I'm seeing there, that's what it's doing. So I'm gonna leave it there. We'll clip these leads and we'll get it wicked up. There we go. Well, that was pretty easy. How long did that take? So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna get her wicked up. You'll see these juice flow ports here are pretty massive. So we're gonna stuff a good amount of cotton in there and they're gonna go straight through the holes there, and you'll see there's a little bit of a reservoir beneath. We're gonna cut the cotton leads right at the bottom there. So got that coil installed. Let's go ahead and give her a fire. Make sure we work out all those hot spots before we put our cotton in. And we'll just wanna strum over a little bit wherever we see those hot spots, and until we get them glowing nice and evenly from the inside out. You might have to work a little bit harder to get hot spots out on this deck because it's kind of hard to see and get to because of the way the deck is designed. But with a little bit of patience, you just want her to get glowing just like that. Alright, and today I'm going to be testing out this new Wicked Wicks cotton. It looks really similar to the native wicks. I've got a piece of it already here. And again, I mentioned these juice flow ports are enormous. So we're going to make sure we're going to have a good thick piece of cotton. My guess is you're probably going to want to use a 3mm inner diameter coil just to make sure you've got enough cotton to fill those ports and not leak. So we'll see. I've got it stuffed with a pretty thick amount of cotton, and looking at it, I'm probably gonna want to thin it out just a tad. I don't think we're too far off, so I'm gonna give this one just a little bit of a strum, just like that. How's that look? Well, a little Don King action for you. So we'll go ahead and clip the little excess off, and we'll get these leads tucked in. What I'll do is I'm gonna take my tweezers here. I'm gonna go ahead and pinch the end and just pop them right into that juice flow port. And it feels pretty good. It's feeling pretty good. It doesn't feel too tight because you don't want it too tight. You don't want to suffocate the cotton because then the juice is not going to flow at all. We'll see. As I mentioned before, wicking in your RTAs is everything. So that'll really make your experience with your RTA. So if you're playing with this RTA or another and you're having a little bit of trouble getting it to wick right, don't be discouraged, because once you do get it wicking right, that's where it's at. So this deck is like nothing I've ever seen, so I'm hoping what I'm doing right now is actually going to work well. I think it will. It's not too dense, and you'll see that I've wicked them right through those juice flow ports, and the cotton here is just barely touching the bottom of that reservoir. So alright, we are ready to get her wet. Today I'm going to be vaping on the Keep It 100 Milk, the strawberry version, one of my favorites. And let's go ahead and just get the coil saturated a little bit before we do the full fill. So I know this flavor pretty well, so I'll be a pretty good judge of the flavor on this RTA. We're gonna go ahead and put the cap on, and we wanna make sure that this airflow wall, or whatever they're calling it, is lined up right with that little quarter notch opening here on the side. Pop down, there we go. And you should be able to just screw it on super easy. And threads feel okay, not bad. So far so good. Now we got that on there, and I think it's time to give her a fill. Get in there. Get 5 mils of e-liquid in here. Boom. So here she is. I think it looks alright. Not my favorite. I feel like they could have done more with the design. Not a big fan of like the stainless with gold accents. Make it all gold, or maybe black with gold accents. That's just my personal thing. But again, if you're rocking this on a mod that's stainless steel and gold, then this would probably be something that you'd like. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think about the way it looks? Eh, not bad. So the coil now is reading at 0.2 ohms. Let's start her off at 45 watts. Let's break her in a little bit. Airflow wide open. Whoa, wow. Whew. I mean, that's good. Is 45 watts a lot for this? I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Hit me in the throat. Flavor's really good so far, actually, right off the bat. First 2 rips. Drop it down to 40 watts. That's a lot better than I was expecting, to be honest with you. I wasn't really sure about the deck at first and how the whole airflow was gonna work out. First few hits are impressive. Flavor is actually really good. Let's keep on going here. Go ahead and turn her up to 50, see how she does. So far it's wicking nicely, no dry hits. Ooh, at 50 watts, it's actually, I'm tasting a little bit more. It's actually getting a lot better. That throat hit's getting me though. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Maybe the chamber is just more reduced because of the wall and the way the deck is designed. I mean, that would make sense. But let's go ahead and take her to 60 watts anyway. Good. So far so good, guys. I'm gonna turn the airflow down halfway. I'll turn her back down to 45 watts. Nice and smooth, no whistling. A little bit warmer vape. Let's turn it up to 50. Airflow halfway closed. That's really good too. Let's turn her down like a quarter of the way. I feel like this is gonna be a little hot and might make me cough, but let's go for it. Whew. Much warmer, almost an MTL. But good, no whistling. So let's go put her back at wide open. Wide open at 60 watts, that was my favorite so far, I think. Maybe I'll turn it up a little bit. 65 watts. All right, that's good. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit up Vape Malone. I know he's been vaping on his Zeus for the longest time. I think he's vaping on it right now. He'll be able to give you a really good comparison between this and the Zeus. You wait right there.
It's like a bunch of quarters stacked on top of each other. Bicentennial edition. 65 watts, full open airflow. I feel like it's giving me a kung fu punch to the throat. $65 watts is a single coil? Whoa. Let's slow it down there. I'm gonna pump the brakes, put it on 47. Oh, flavor's good. Let me turn the airflow down a little bit. On the Zeus, I turn the airflow down just like, not even a quarter, just like a smidge. Yeah, I think the Zeus has a little bit better flavor, in my opinion. This is pretty damn close. The Bicentennial Solomon too. It's not too bad.
All right. It's always good to have a couple opinions, right? So it's pretty solid RTA. Flavor is good. Single coil. I think the next thing we'll do is we'll do the wicking test. Let's chain vape the hell out of this thing and see how that wicking job I did held up. Let's do it. Bubbling up nice. I think the wicking's hanging fine. It's my lungs. Yeah, well, that's about all I can handle. But it's vaping well, wicking well. I'm seeing the bubbles come up when I'm vaping it. That's gonna be really important though. You wanna pay attention, make sure when you're stuffing your cotton down into those ports, you wanna make sure it's not too tight, it's not suffocating. That way it'll wick really well, like this one is. I think if you dig the design here, the vape is great. So it would be an RTA that I would recommend. I'm interested to see what other color combinations that will be coming out. Will the black also have a gold AFC ring? Not my favorite color combination, but the vape is good. So I can't say anything about that. The vape is good. The vape is good. Flavor is great. Single coil RTA. You can actually put pretty fat coils in here. I mean, that was a 5-wrap fused Clapton coil that put in here. And when I first looked at that deck, I was like, no way is this gonna fit in here. I'm gonna have to build my own with a little bit smaller coil. But that's not the case. Not the case. You can put fat single coils in there. So I think a lot of you are gonna be happy to know that. So that'll wrap it up for this show and tell of the Solomon 2. Again, these aren't released yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be bringing these in. If you're interested in browsing around, looking at some other RTAs in the meantime, go ahead and click that link right there. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing with just one click right over here. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Peace.